En el episodio anterior...
Cultural ideas about masculinity and feminine, maleness and femaleness, both in humans and in lots of other animals.
So are gender and sex two different things?
El sexo y el género son dos cosas diferentes, pero están íntimamente relacionadas. Esta es una chica que habla de lo que le pasó siendo deportista juvenil mujer, ¿no? Y cómo son las competiciones ahora que la obligan a competir con mujeres trans.
And once the gun went off, the two transgender athletes took off flying and left all of us girls in the dust. Throughout all 4 years of high school, I was forced to compete against biological males. I only competed against them in sprinting events, but I raced against these athletes over a dozen times throughout the years, and every single time I lost.
Did they inch you out of medals that you would have won otherwise, or trophies you would have won?
They beat me out by 20 meters out of medals, and qualifying spots. I missed out on qualifying for New England's. I had to go in the long jump and the 4x200 meter relay, so I was forced on the sidelines in my own event, and if they were not...
Bueno, en esto yo también todavía no tengo una postura completamente definida, pero me encamino más hacia pensar que las personas trans no tienen que competir con personas cis, porque a esta chica literalmente le arrebataron sus sueños. O sea, por 20 metros compitiendo contra machos biológicos se perdió las medallas, se perdió la clasificación para ir a Inglaterra. Y ahora lo van a escuchar de su propia boca. Dice, llega un punto en el que te desmotivás y ni siquiera sabes por qué mierda seguís entrenando, por qué mierda seguís desgastándote, por qué mierda seguís perdiendo las de sueño, no sé qué, no sé cuánto, sabiendo que nunca les vas a poder ganar.
Not there, I would have been able to qualify. So I missed out on so much throughout my high school career.
Did they win all the events or almost all the events?
Between the two of them, they won every single event they competed in.
How does that feel?
It is so frustrating and heartbreaking because we elite female athletes train so hard to shave just fractions of a second off of our time, and going into races knowing that we will never be able to win.
Feels like all that work gone to waste.
It does. After so many losses, it just gets to the point of, why am I even doing this? Why am I keep training so hard and sacrificing so much just to place third and beyond?
Te rompe el corazón. A mí esto me rompió el corazón, sinceramente. Vamos a ver una serie de entrevistas a gente por la calle de se ve que es un barrio LGTB o algo por el estilo, donde resulta que hay mucha gente woke. Trigger warning.
At least I'm making new friends. You worry about kids walking around out here?
No, because I raised two daughters. They're two of the most well-adjusted adults. They grew up around naked people, and there's been studies that have shown that children raised around non-sexual nudity actually have fewer hang-ups when they're adults.
People do have hang-ups. There's a lot of things hanging right now during this conversation. Can anyone be any gender they want to be? Can a man become a woman if he wants to be?
I leave that. I mean, what people do, that's personal choice. People can live the life they want to. I mean, I'm trying to live the life I want to, an authentic life, and that's why I respect other people's rights to choose what they want to do.
Well, why are you asking a gay man as to what it means to be a woman? You should be asking women what it means to be a woman, especially trans women, what it means to be a woman.
I'm asking all kinds of people.
No sé, como acá es donde parezco una conservadora. Esto de acá de la derecha, el ser con el sombrero morado, que a todas luces uno podría identificar fácilmente como una mujer, porque tiene curvas, porque tiene tetas, porque tiene pelo largo, porque se viste y arregla como una mujer, no es una mujer. No es una mujer, es un hombre gay. Entonces le cuestiona que esto debería preguntárselo a hombres gays, no a ella. Y es como, no a ella, ¿ves? Acabo de decir ella. O sea, que eso debería preguntárselo a mujeres trans y no a él, que es un hombre gay. Pero es que ni siquiera te sale natural hablarle de masculino a este hombre. ¿Vos cómo pretendes que yo sepa, al verte de lejos, que vos te identificas como un hombre gay y no como una mujer, si yo lo que estoy viendo es una mujer?
Can anyone have an opinion about it?
Only people who are women. Gay men don't know nothing about what it means to be a woman.
Los hombres gays no sabemos nada de lo que es ser una mujer, le dice. Míralo. Con sus gafas masculinas, su pelo largo masculino, su gorro masculino, sus tetas masculinas.
Only people who are women. Gay men don't know nothing about what it means to be a woman.
Los hombres gays no saben nada de lo que es ser una mujer.
Have you told gay men here in San Francisco that they're not allowed to talk about this?
No. But it's not like I come around and say what a gay man is allowed to be.
So you're saying if you're not a woman, then you shouldn't have an opinion.
Where does a guy get a right to say what a woman is? Women only know what women are.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what cat is?
This is actually a genuine mistake. I am sorry I even came up there.
Y ahí se va. Cuando le pregunta si es un gato, y le dice que no, y luego le pregunta que si sabe lo que es un gato, se queda en silencio y dice, la verdad es que ha sido un genuino error haber venido siquiera hasta aquí. Y agarra y se va.
You want to tell us what a woman is?
Hat is correct.
Todavía no
And
se va
only
al culo del
women can
mundo,
tell me
todavía
what a
no.
woman is.
Ahí le preguntan, ¿qué es una mujer?
What is a woman? Can you tell me that?
No tiene ni
Oh, you're at
idea.
the Women's March. You must have some idea.
Esta escena es maravillosa también. Ojito porque se va a la manifestación de las mujeres. O sea, a Women's March. Única temática, manifestación de las mujeres. Y se va a preguntar ahí que qué es una mujer. Veamos qué le contestan.
So I see girls, vagina. Does that mean that they're the only people who can get pregnant?
If men can get pregnant too, I think they want the right to choose.
But men can get pregnant?
We're saying someone who was born as a woman but identifies as a man.
Is
That
that a man?
real man.
It's a real man.
Yeah.
So men can get pregnant.
Yes, if we're saying yeah, if they have the parts to do so.
Is it just women that give birth, or is it?
Or I guess yeah.
So men can give birth
Anyone
too?
with a vagina.
But that could be a man or a woman.
Well, I mean, I think that's the whole point, right? That it's fluid. The way that we define these things changes a lot. What are you doing here?
I'm asking these questions.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what a woman is. That's why I'm here. And this is the Women's March. I figured this is a good place to find out. I've come all this way to ask that question. Can anyone tell me what a woman is?
You are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
What is that? How am I harassing? I'm asking a question. Whose body?
Y ahora le empiezan un
What is a
escrache.
woman? Can anyone here at the Women's March tell me what a woman is? How about you tell me what a woman is and I'll put a mask on? Sir, tell me what a woman is and I'll put a mask on.
Hay un montón de gente sin mascarilla y solo se lo recrimina a él. Y todo el mundo le empieza a gritar, ¡hijo de puta! ¡Hijo de
If one
puta!
person can tell me what a woman is. Do you guys know what a woman is by any chance?
Ahora vamos a lo mejor que yo he visto en años, chicos. Este señor se fue al culo del mundo. Ahora sí, se va al culo del mundo a hacer las mismas preguntas. Espérense que esto es lo más bonito que han visto en la Tierra. Porque tengan razón, bueno, eso ya cada uno tendrá una opinión. Ahora, lo que sí es gracioso es ver cómo cambia la perspectiva de lo que es una pregunta ridícula de acuerdo a qué cultura te vayas. A esta tribu.
We came a long way to come and talk to you guys. Thousands of miles from America. So thank you for inviting us into your tribe, first of all.
I can say it is my pleasure to meet you and feel most welcome. But you're here to learn with me. I'm here to learn with you too.
Great. What's the right form here?
Is this?
Just with the elbow?
Yeah.
I mean, they're laughing, so I guess it's not good, but I thought it was pretty good. Not good enough to be a man yet in your tribe, but what does a man do? What are his roles within the tribe?
At the role of a man, you need to work for your woman. Secondly, to have children. If you have children and you don't have something to feed them, you are not still a man. Okay.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the blood.
It was the best raw kidney I've had in my life. What if a man decides that he wants to do the roles of a woman?
Se ríen.
In Maasai community, it will not exist at all.
Doesn't exist? What if a man decides that his gender identity is woman?
A woman has its own duty, and a man has its own duty, and a lady cannot do the duty of a man, and a man cannot do a duty of a woman.
Can a man become a woman?
No.
No?
No.
What about a transgender?
Okay.
Transgender?
No.
No?
It look like if you want to become a lady but you're a man, you have something wrong in
Something
your mind.
wrong.
Something wrong in your family, something wrong in you.
What about if someone was non-binary?
Come again?
Non-binary? You know, like like someone is
You're not a woman, you're not a man.
yeah, someone is neither. There's something else. Is that
Itu bro, aman na ye, kita main na yole peria wan topis. He's saying we have never seen things like those. For a man, he has a penis. For a woman, he has a vagina. So we know this is a lady, this is a man.
what if it's a woman with a
Both.
is that
Kita main na beggar engiro. Entabo.
Se ríen.
people are laughing? Is that a dumb question?
They're just laughing because they have never heard something like that. This is their first time.
Never heard it before.
A woman have a and she's a woman.
In my country, I can't go a day without hearing it. We hear it every day. So in my country, sometimes you'll hear people say, a man will say that I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, and so they say that I have a woman trapped inside me.
Iriana rokina idemole ara ingro. They want to know a woman has the breast.
Yeah.
Secondly, she has a vagina. And the question is, does this man deliver?
Does he deliver babies?
Se parten
No,
el culo.
not as far as I know.
The question is, let's say if you want to sleep a woman, definitely you'll do sex.
Sex with a woman. Yeah.
And you the vagina, is it? But
Yeah.
for the man, where do you yes, that's the sex.
Los
I don't know all the
amo.
logistics of it.
¿Cómo van a todo lo biológico, natural,
Based on what I'm
práctico?
saying, would you ever want to move to America?
Kidogro, ina inilin na kop. They say no, never.
What is a woman if you had to give it a definition?
Me encanta porque ahora le preguntan a las mujeres también de la tribu que qué es una mujer si tuviera que dar una definición. Y la mujer de la tribu dice,
She said, a woman delivered,
Yeah.
a man cannot.
So it sounds like you don't spend a lot of time thinking about gender. You just kind of live your lives. You don't think much about it.
Kidogro, mara wanda ingaranda arole arhikarin kiro. He said, no, because we believe that's a God plan.
God's plan.
He's saying that I'm shocked on what you're telling me.
He's shocked.
¿se acuerdan de esta señora? Bueno, esta señora también se ofende. Lo que pasa es que no se ofendió al principio, se ofende ahora.
Who is just starting puberty and panicking because they're getting breast buds or their penis is getting bigger and busier and they're worried about all kinds of masculine changes. And that way, puberty blockers, which are completely reversible and don't have permanent effects, are wonderful because we can put that pause on puberty. It's like if you were listening to music, you put the pause on and we stop the blockers and puberty would go right back to where it was. The next note in the song just delayed that period of time.
You can just pause puberty
No, you can't.
and then pick it up
No, you can't.
in the future.
No, you can't. How many studies do they have, long-term studies, on hormone blockers?
Esta persona que leemos como un hombre es una mujer que en un momento se identificó como un hombre trans, hizo todo un proceso, se hormonó, se hizo cirugía, no sé qué, no sé cuánto, y hoy en día se arrepiente brutalmente y hace activismo en pos de que las instituciones médicas que se dedican a este tipo de cosas no te informan correctamente de todos los efectos que puede tener a largo plazo.
The children. None.
I just spoke a month or two ago with a mother whose 14-year-old daughter was put on blockers. They discovered after 2 years, this 14-year-old girl has osteoporosis. That's something that like old women get.
How can doctors assure parents that a certain medicine is totally safe? Based on what you're saying, they can't possibly know that.
How can they be removing the healthy breasts of 15-year-old girls? How can they be sterilizing kids? How can this whole thing be happening, Matt?
Every child that they convince is transgender and in need of medical transition, it generates $1.3 million to pharma. And we're believing a pharmaceutical company, Lupron, hormone blockers, reversible, so they say. Well, the truth is that in 2003, Lupron was sued and deemed a criminal enterprise by the US government. They paid the most fine of any pharmaceutical company at that time, $874 million, wrote a check.
Is Lupron chemical castration?
Yes. We're giving it to pedophiles, aren't we? We're giving it to people that are, and we're giving it to kids, telling them that they were born in the wrong body and it's completely safe.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which has actually been used to chemically castrate sex offenders.
You know what? I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview because it seems like it's
Well,
going in a particular direction.
Well, you're
¿Ves? En cuanto le pregunta si usan determinado medicamento y le dice sí, y le dice, ¿no es eso lo que usan para castrar a violines? Y la señora le dice, ¿sabes qué? Creo que no quiero continuar con esta entrevista porque parece que va en una dirección correcta, en una dirección concreta. No, lo que pasa es que a vos te gustaría que sí, que vaya en una dirección concreta, pero que esa dirección concreta sea la tuya, donde no te hagan este tipo de preguntas, ¿verdad?
medical professionals.
I am a medical professional.
So you don't want to talk about the drugs that you give to kids, or?
Again, I'm a physician and I use medication. You're choosing exploitive words. Drugs I give to kids.
I'm choosing a
chemical
word that was in
castration.
a dictionary.
That's not a correct term for puberty blocking.
I
in
mean,
a
I could look it up
transgender
on my
person.
phone, but I'm pretty sure if I looked it up,
You can look it up on your phone.
it says medical definition, the administration of a drug to bring about a marked reduction in the body's production of androgens and especially testosterone.
And I'm saying, as a pediatrician who takes care of hundreds of these kids, when you use that terminology, you are being malignant and harmful.
I mean, there are some who would say that giving chemical castration drugs to kids is malignant and harmful.
It's about the context of caring for a child and seeing the suffering that kids can have that have not been in affirmative home situations.
What do you say to the claim that, well, we have to do this for these kids because if we don't, they'll kill themselves. They'll resort to drugs and self-harm.
A lot of them were hurting themselves. A lot of them were suicidal before they even discovered gender. That is never part of the discussion. And they say, what would you rather have? A living daughter or a dead son? If this is what the professionals are saying, it's terrible emotional blackmail.
Bien, señores, pues ahí acabamos con la sección de What is a Woman?